Hey everybody, Darren Dale, winners win. I'm in Stratton, Nebraska, right on Main Street. This is right where number 18 on the Leavenworth Pikes Peak stage is, and I'm right here at Johnny Whiskers, right on Main. Johnny, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Pleasure to have you, Dale. Hello, folks.
If you're looking for fishing and hunting supplies, it's here. Tell us a little bit about the products you have.
I've got a wide variety of lures and jig heads, things like that. Everything that's in the store is things that I use personally for each variety of fish. So if we don't have something that you're looking for, I can get it, but it's been pretty rewarding because people come in and they enjoy the products that we have, and I fish myself as the store owner, and I've had people comment and say that you can tell that. So we've got a good variety of plastics and crankbaits, all kinds of stuff. Rods and poles, you bet.
Do you do fishing trips?
I don't. I've had a lot of people ask me to the point I'll take them out on my boat myself, but I don't outfit yet, but maybe in the future I might do that.
We're getting ready for the shoot and people are coming in and out of the store. Johnny tells all the secrets. He wants the kids to catch. He wants everybody to catch. It's interesting to see how he points people in the right direction. What gave you, or who gave you the hunting and fishing in your blood?
I would have to say my grandma and grandpa, mostly my grandma. Their pictures right there on the wall. Ira and Jeanette Erickson from up there by Burwell, Nebraska. But when I was a kid, we had sand hills pits. They were so clear you could see fish in them, but we'd go catch grasshoppers. We toss a little 202 out there and you could see the fish hit it and everything. I was fascinated. My grandmother was an educator, so when I was a boy, she would have me write things during the summer to practice my literary skills, read and things like that. And one time I sat down and I was going to write a book, but the opening line was, when Mother Nature cast her seductive glance at me across that crystal clear sandhills pit, I knew that I was smitten by her hand, and forever this would be a relationship I would strive to maintain. Well, as a boy, the first lake that they took me to was Johnson Lake, and I remember sitting there fishing, and I was catching fish, and I'd kind of gone off by myself, and my grandpa would tell me that, oh, he says, honey, he says, it's probably the waves, you can't have one already. But I caught fish fairly quickly, fairly naturally. There's another time that sticks out in my head about them, but they loved to fish bluegill and crappie and things like that. They caught a lot of catfish, carp, but there was a particular pond that was getting ready to open up, and I had permission to go there, but they were hybrid bluegills, so they were almost 2 pounds. But I went and I caught a stringer full, and I was a little boy. I don't know, I was 5, 6 years old, somewhere in there. But the stringer was so heavy I couldn't lift it. I went home and I told him, and I told my dad. And anyways, my dad come and he couldn't believe it. But the next thing I knew, that week, Grandma and Grandpa took a vacation. They come down and fished with me. But ever since then, my grandpa, as he got older, would winter down in Arizona. He'd leave the ranch. I'd pick him up come springtime, and he'd stay with me a couple of weeks. My grandma passed, but we'd go fishing. We'd go fishing rivers and pits and ponds, but definitely my grandma and grandpa put that bug in me, and it's a strong one.
And that's awesome. And you're in a great location here because you're not too far from a lot of water resources that are right here off the Republic.
Very, very true. And growing up, I always heard stories about the Republican. When my people came from Russia, they settled not far from here, but the Republican River was a big deal. And then both of my grandpas worked down on the Harlan County Reservoir back in the day, and they would tell stories of the catfish that were caught down there. So as a kid, it intrigued me, and I always wanted to do that. But the water around here, Swanson Reservoir, just a huge hidden secret people don't realize, and I catch some pretty good fish, and I've started taking pictures now, but people always say, I can't believe that there's that big of a fish in there. The DNR and stuff has done a really good job with the fish numbers and monitoring thing. This is a great lake to fish, and then we have red willow, And of course, as you move out, there's other lakes and reservoirs. Big Mac just north of us, but you bet, great fishing country.
And I'm looking around in here. There's a lot of stuff. We're going to take a quick break and come right back, and we're at Johnny Whiskers. Say it for me. I like it when you say it.
Johnny Whiskers Outdoors, Stratton, Nebraska.
Thanks for watching Winners Win. If you're enjoying it, like it, share it, tell your friends. If you have a product or service you'd like for us to showcase, please reach out to us at winnerswin.net. Hey everybody, we're back at Johnny Whiskers Outdoor, and we're looking through here. He's telling us about the great places to fish in the area, and I'm looking around in here. The other day I stopped in to beg Johnny if I could come over and do one of these interviews, and he was courtesy enough to say yes. But I got a hatchet in here. I showed you that in one of my shows. I'm looking around. You can get ammunition. You can get all sorts of knives. There's even a nice selection of these Charlie Russell pictures up high.
Yeah, those are not for sale. Those actually are a very precious thing to my heart. Those came from my father-in-law. He just passed recently, but Harold Potoff had those. He was a great old cowboy, and it was awesome. We had a lot of the same kind of likes in life, for sure.
That's awesome. That's a great touch. I like the feel in here. Live bait.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do you have for live?
I've got the Cadillac of minnows. I've got number 12 and 20 shiners right now. I'm getting low on leeches. And then, of course, I got Canadian crawlers. And then when it comes to catfish, again, those are my favorite. But I've got the Cadillac of baits there, too. I've got cut baits. So I've got the yellowtail, and I've also got the skipjack. And then different times, I have some homemade baits that I make up that I have for sale. Be coming up here with the hotter months.
What season, I wonder if this is too far out. What season are we in right now for fish?
Well, as far as the catfish is concerned, we're in a speck of a lull. They just finishing up spawning and things, and
Okay.
the weather's has played a great part in that as well, as far as location of the fish. But that's the biggest deal. You have to look at the conditions you're fishing, what species you're going after. Barometric pressure is very, very important. And then the nature of what it is that you're trying to catch, as far as their feeding schedule and things like that. But the wipers and the white bass, the crappie, perch, pumpkin seed, bass, all of those fish are active. The catfish, if you're fishing from the bank, they are biting now, but you're going to have to get out into the deeper waters. Or like last night, I went out with some friends and my wife, and it had been a very hot day, and at about 5, 6 o'clock, they were calling ready to go, and I said, no, we'll go out about 9 o'clock. It's going to be a later bite tonight. So they turned on last night at about midnight for us. But it's just things like that. But as far as the lake goes, like I said, there's a lot of good structure. It's laid out very nice. There's all kinds of ground there as far as habitat for the different species. The walleye have been doing well. And they just got done stocking the lake with a bunch of saugers now and things. They think that the sauger will reproduce a little better than the walleye in this particular body of water. But fishing's great. You have the right bait and the right presentation, you're going to catch fish.
So the walleye is that a different breed or a different?
Yeah,
Still similar to it?
They're kind of like cousins, for lack of a better way to describe it. But when you look at them comparatively, the saw guy will be a little bit more mottled and stuff, like some flatheads. But I've caught a lot of them off of the river and stuff. They're a fine eating fish, and they fight. They're a lot of people that are novice, for lack of better terms, would probably catch one and think they had a walleye. They look very similar.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
What's the largest catfish you've caught, and when?
Well, in high school, I would make trips to the Missouri. I went up to Yankton and stuff, but I've caught 120, 140 pound flatheads. I've caught up to 100, 110 blue.
Wow.
And then channels, I've caught some in the 40 pound class. So,
Those are big fish.
yeah.
I'm assuming quite some of them here at Trenton or close by.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when I met my wife, her mom was big with the kids in swimming and things like that, going to the lake when they were young. But I got a pretty big boat and I like to fish, and I wanted her to go out and experience that with me. So we went out late at night, and I was on Swanson, and I was fishing for flatheads, and we had taken blankets and stuff. We're going to just sleep on the boat, and I was going to fish all night. Oh, it's dinner time.
That tips us off on what time of the day it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, that's small town Nebraska, and I love it. Got a lot of memories associated with the old dinner bell, as you can tell. But so she was falling asleep there, and I'm terrible with time, but as I recall, it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. But as you know, the flathead bite is so violent. And I had a big rod and stuff, and of course it just hammered and went down, and it kind of unnerved her a little bit. And she's like, "What is that? What is it?" And she's like, "It's trying to take the pole away from you." And I was like, that's a flathead. So we got the fish up to the boat and stuff, and I would say it had to be close to 100 pounds.
Wow.
But she had never really seen fish like that either, and stuff. But again, I'm terrible at time, but a few nights ago, maybe 3 nights ago or so, I was fishing, and I'd just been checked by the game warden for the first time, really. I've been here a lot, never been checked.
Okay.
We got a young gal, her name's Sophie, does a very nice job. But in our conversation, I found it comical because she was telling about the catfish are really slow and the bite, and she said, "Well, good luck finding them. It's going to be pretty tough to find them." I didn't say anything, but anyways, that night I caught a 67-pound blue, and I had a buddy with me, and he'd never seen a fish that big, and went on. So we took pictures of it and stuff like that. They came over, they measured it, weighed it. I'm going to get a master angler for it, which is a big deal. I've never done that. I guess, like I say, my fishing, I always just enjoy doing it. But it was surprising to me how many people have seen that picture and told me that they can't believe that there's fish like that out there at Swanson. There's fish a lot bigger than that out there. There's even some muskie, and there's some really nice northern, and I've got pictures of those I've caught as well. But I released that fish back into the water and things, and it's just fun catching them. I love hunting them.
That's as big as a kid.
Yeah.
That's huge.
50 and a quarter inches is what it was.
Wow, that's huge. The other thing you were telling me the other day is you've got crossbows you can fish with.
Right.
And you have those in here somewhere?
Yes.
Tell us about those.
Well, I've got some crossbows. I think I have one left, but they've got a reel on them and stuff. But at any rate, I've got a regular Matthews solo cam bow that I use with a bottle rig, they call it.
Okay.
But it's a bottle that screws on the end of it. The line comes out of it. But basically, you cock the crossbow, or on a bow, you would pull it back when you're ready to shoot. But you put the arrow into it. It's got a ringlet on it and a string. And the arrow, I sell arrows too for regular bows and repair kits, because your knocks get dinged on rocks a lot of times, and
sure,
those are hard to find. A lot of people don't carry them. But when you shoot that wire slips, so it'll go through. But when the fish goes to pull against the arrow, the wires kick out, and it doesn't, and you reel it in. So
that's got to be fun.
It's very fun, and the big old carp and stuff, they put up a big fight. It's fun to do, you bet. And you can do it in the daytime, or my favorite is to go out, and they have what's called plate lights, but they kind of look like a mirror, and they're very thin. But I got a little Honda Quiet generator, and I'll plug those in. But they're LED, but they're so bright, they illuminate. You point them towards the water, and they illuminate under the water. And you can literally see the fish swimming down there, and then shoot them.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's fun.
And you can come right here to Johnny Whiskers, Stratton, Nebraska, and get set up on all of your hunting and fishing supplies right here on Main Street.
You bet.
Johnny and I visited for quite a while before we turned the clock on and start recording it. Very interesting guy. I appreciate your time. What if you, as an entrepreneur and an advocate of kids, what could you do to encourage a kid to go into business for themselves?
Well, it's pretty simple. If you can work for somebody else, you can work for yourself. And so it's like everything else in life, as just as neighbors. We talk about this a lot on Johnny Whiskers Outdoors. Be a good neighbor. No matter what it is that you do, in my life I was very, very fortunate because I had a good core group of people, neighbors, relatives, but no matter what occupation that they did or what task they were doing, they always invited me to come up and watch, and then would help me get involved in it and show me what they were doing and why. And whether it's fishing or building automobiles, it's the same thing. And our kids are our next generation. So it's so important for us to remember that. And when we get older and are counting on our kids for all of these different things, what a good thing to be able to sit back and have confidence like we expect them to have, that they're going to go out and do what it is that they want to do just because they think they can do it. That's it right there. It's like everything else in life. It's a mental game. Believe in yourself. If you think it's a good idea, somebody else will think it's a good idea.
I love it. I want to be around Johnny more. I enjoy his stories. He's fun. He's super positive. Come see him, support his business, and thank you for watching.
And folks, I'd like to thank everyone in my community. It's been amazing, the support and the friendship that we've developed through this business that we opened. Jennifer and I are very grateful. Thank you so much for your business and for your friendship and support.
Awesome. Tune in for more, and we'll put some captions. All you got to do is drive to Main Street. It's right here.